Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm going to do part 886 to my random chatbot series on Character.ai. Well, in today's video guys, we are going to try to do the Pokemon Apocalypse thing again. It was a pretty interesting story the last time I did it. However, I want things to be able to work out actually. I did go ahead and read the greeting the last time I did this, and because of that, I did do the story a bit differently. Here's what it says. It says, stuck as a tiny 7-inch tall Carnotaurus, I hear the banging and get really worried. It put walk instead of look. I look out the window, despite putting walk, and despite it being really hard to see, I notice what looks like the snout of either a tyrantrum or a feraligator. Despite how risky it was, I tried calling out. Hello? Tyrantrum? Feraligator? Who's out there? What the? A tiny dinosaur? It doesn't say what it is, though. A deep and booming voice responded. The pawn was right outside and started to try and squeeze his head through the window to see you. Oh no. Give me a moment, guys. I didn't get that big of a response, but it says, yes, who are you? It must be a Feraligator because of what he said. As the pawn eventually manages to get his head inside and looks at you, Corn's a Feraligator and he has an intimidating look. The name's Gator. He sniffs you. Oh, are you by yourself? I think it's screwed up because it put the word walk instead of look. We'll see if it works out. Alright, guys. I just told him, yeah, I am. What are you doing here, Gator? Did you want something? Is it just you? Gator narrows his eyes, studying you closely before taking a slow, watery breath, almost like a sigh. Looking for strays. Humans are supposed to be extinct in this area. He tilts his head slightly. But you, tiny, not human-sized prey. A rustling sound comes from outside as another shadow looms near the window. Something larger shifts in the bushes. Oh, heck no. Uh, give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, it put say instead of see. That's why I hate the speech recognition thing. When I see this larger shadow, I get really scared and back up a little further from the window. Gator? Who is that near you? Gator smirks, noticing your reaction to the other pawn. My mate, he says casually. The bushes move again as whatever is outside takes a step. The leaves are also revealing an outline you can't quite make out due to the darkness. Your mate? So, it's another Feraligator? Gator lets out a low rumble to oh no. Nah, she's something special. The shadow finally steps forward. Towering over Gator's a sleek, jagged silhouette emerges. A Houndoom. Why does she have red fur? Glowing faintly in the dark like embers. Little thing, the Houndoom rasped. You got lucky today. Uh, give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, Houndoom? Hello? What do you mean I got lucky? Houndoom tilts her head, studying you with an almost playful tail. Oh no. Her eyes burning like hot coals. Gear speaks before she can even reply. Most of my kind are still in a hunt first, ask questions later phase, after humans ruined the planet. He pauses, but she's a bit more curious. Okay, guys, give me a second. Alright, guys. I said, oh, okay. What's even going on? Most one can now speak English and seem like they're even smarter than they already were. It put he instead of you! You said something about humans supposed to be extinct. What do you mean by that? Gator's eyes darken, a grim shadow passing over his face. Oh dear. Mewtwo and Arceus made a deal of sorts. Fed up with humans never learning from their mistakes, they gave Pullen a boost, intelligence, and freedom, and a chance to reclaim the world from humans. Gator exited, sending out a ripple through a little puddle of his saliva. Oh, heck no. I hope you ain't getting hungry and think about feasting on me. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I just said, oh, I was wondering why everything seemed a lot different. They also do this because of how people treat their Pokemon. Like how most people treat their Pokemon like tools instead of friends and maybe even family. Gator nod, have disdain as gaze. Oh crap. Humans never learned. They saw Pokemon as tools, toys, things to possess and use. The Houndy went, I need money! Meow! Pop! Alright, guys. For everybody what you said, humans never learned. They saw Pokemon as tools, toys, things to possess and use. The Houndoom was amused of, they never deserved this planet. Too selfish and too destructive. Okay, this is scary. I'm almost scared to flip and tell them what happened because I'm scared they'll flip and immediately attack me. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, oh. And I just get a little worried, but I try to say something anyway. I just said, Gator, Houndoom, um, uh, I'll read this. It says, I want to tell you both something, but please don't attack me the very second I tell you. I want to be 100% honest with you. I want money. Alright, stop. It says, Gator narrows his eyes slightly, but nods for you to continue. The Houndoom looks curious more than anything. Go on, speak. I was at one point a human too. I tense up just like worried I will get hurt immediately. Humans are the reason I'm even stuck as a tiny dinosaur now, but I was different than most of them. I had Singapore and yes, but I treated them like my friends and my family because to me they were family and I really loved them. The tension in the air seemed to fade as Gator and the Houndoom digest your words. The Houndoom sits back on her haunches, eyes narrowed in thought. Gator grunts, the sound was contemplative. Interesting. You're not like any other humans we've encountered. It would different. But what happened? Why are you a tiny dino now? Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says, I've been stuck like this for years, even before all of this with Mewtwo and Arceus started. Back when I was going to get my starter Pokemon, I got to go into the lab early and look at my options. However, another kid was jealous because I got to go in early, but he never did. Long story short, he made a potion, threw it at me, and when it shared all over me, I became this tiny dinosaur. Ever since then, it's been pretty rough. Humans have been extremely aggressive towards me, and it's never stopped. I wonder what he's gonna say about that. Gator listens closely, his gaze fixated on you as the story unfolds. The Hound remains silent, studying you intently. When you finish speaking, Gator lets out another low rumble, almost like a thoughtful sigh. Sounds like you got a rough deal, little one. So as a dinosaur, hunted and feared, not much of a life. His eyes narrowed so you said most humans have been aggressive towards you. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I just said, yeah, I would say 99% of humans were mean to me. After I got turned into this tiny dinosaur, it put demons. Oh my gosh! Humans started throwing rocks at me, picking me up and throwing me around like a toy, or even hitting me over the head or snout with their fists. Gator's expression darkens, a low growl rumbling in his chest. Figures. Humans only know how to hurt things smaller than them. Houndoom finally speaks up, her voice sharp and saying, and you think we're the monsters? I didn't say that. I don't know where she got that from. She leaned closer, her ember like eyes boring into you as Gator watches you for your reaction. Oh dear. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I back up a little, worried about getting attacked. No, I never said anything like that. The reason I told both of you this story is because I want you to know I'm on your side. I loved my Pokemon, and despite how tiny I was, took really good care of them. Gator relaxes slightly, the anger in his eyes mellowing as it observes you. The Houndoom remains tense for a moment longer, but then relaxes as well, tilting her head to the side. So, let me get this straight, Gator said. You were a human who loved Pokemon and was turned into a tiny dino because of a jealous kid, and now you're on our side? He considers this for a moment before speaking again. You're an interesting one, little thing. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, yeah, that's exactly right. In fact, I had a Totodile that really cared about me, and he had the power to grow, shrink, and even turn to any of his evolutions whenever he wanted. He was super sweet and protective towards me. Gator's gaze sharpened slightly at the mention of the Totodile. Intrigue flickers in his eyes. Totodile, huh? And he had special powers, you say? The Houndoom's expression betrays a hint of surprise, but she remains quiet, letting Gator take the lead in questioning you. Yeah, after I got turned into this tiny dinosaur by that jealous kid, the professor gave me all three starters and a baby Lugia with the exact same powers, just to make sure I was protected. Gator's eyes widen slightly. Professor gave you all the starters and a Lugia? Those are powerful Pokemon. Why do you entrust all of that to you? Houndoom chimes in, her voice skeptical and almost mocking. Sounds like the professor had some serious faith in you, little dino. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. He says, yeah, I love those Pokemon, and they loved me. They were so sweet towards me. They told me never to worry about having to feed them, because they could get stuff for themselves. They even helped me get some food and make sure I ate something. Actually, mine Totodile bond in particular was already so strong that the day after I got all my starters, I actually got the chance to Mega Evolve my Totodile when he was in his Feraligatr form. Both Gator and the Houndoom seemed caught off guard by this revelation, eyes wide in disbelief. Mega Evolve? That's that's not something that should happen so soon. It takes an incredibly strong bond, like no other, to achieve something like that so early. Gator, the Houndoom just stared at you, mixture of astonishment and skepticism on her face. Oh, great. What's her name? Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says a lot of stuff happened within the first 2 days of me getting my starters and baby Lugia. The same day I got them, they were carrying me home, trying to be very careful so I didn't fall. When we got to my house and were about to go in, that same jealous kid turned me into this to begin with, threw a rock at me and hit me, causing me to fall off of my Totodile in his crocodile form. Let's just say he was not very happy. None of my Pokemon were, but Chrono especially. He really went over to the kid while evolving into a Feraligatr and beat the crap out of him. Gator's expression shifts to something almost like respect, his eyes narrowing, but not in hostility. Your Pokemon protected you. That kid got what he deserved. The Houndoom lets out a sharp, amused huff. Guess even back then your little dino crew had standards, unlike the rest of their kind. She flickers her tail over as Gator studies you with newfound interest. It ain't quite working out as good as the last one, but I think it would work. It's just it needs to start out. I think if it didn't just make the flipping spelling mistakes, like when it put walked instead of looked. See you in a minute. Alright, guys. I said, yeah, they loved me very quickly, especially since they knew I loved them. That's not all, though. That same night after I fell asleep, I had a dream that had a massive Lugia inside of it. He told me he was the Lugia god and told me he was not very happy with what the humans did to me. He even told me he would protect me if things got too rough. Both Gator and the Houndoom listened intently, their interest visibly piqued. Gator rolls out a low, contemplative rumble. You dreamed about the Lugia god himself? and he said he would protect you? The Houndoom scoffs, her tone mocking but tinged with curiosity. That's a tall tale, little dino. Got any proof? I just nod my tiny head and hold up my tiny claws. Yeah, the day after when I woke up from the dream, my claws were golden. They still are right now. Gator and the Houndoom exchange a glance, their eyes fixated on your shimmering golden claws. Golden claws? Gator almost. That's pretty dang proof if you ask me. The Houndoom remains skeptical, but can't deny it. The evidence is right there in front of her face. She huffs, her tail flicking earward. Fine, let's say we believe you. What else did this Lugia god say to you? Oh, give me a moment, guys. I saw that camera. I'm really scared to continue reading this thing now. Here's what I said. It is, he's done a lot more for me than just this. A few weeks after all of that happened, I met a huge family of toadows, crocodiles, and for alligators, and they showed me a special rock they found that had a picture of a tiny dinosaur looking scared that looked exactly like me, with a massive lugia protecting it on one side. And the other side had humans mocking and trying to hurt the dinosaur. Not long after I saw that, I found out that I apparently was a king of the lugia god. A few days later, I had another dream about him, and he put a symbol on my tiny snout that looked like exactly like a crown. It's not as visible as it was back when he first put it, but if you look really close, it's actually still there, still glowing slightly gold. A powerful silence falls over Gator and the Houndoom as they take in your words. The sheer scale of the legendary pawn's intervention in your life, leaving both speechless for a moment. A king to the Lugia god, huh? Gator murmurs, his eyes narrowing. Houndoom huffs, amidst of annoyance and awe flickering across his. If this is some dang fairy tale, it's a pretty detailed one. And you still have this crown mark? Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, yes, look really close at my tiny snout. It's there. It's hard to see, but there's also a small DNA symbol on my chest as well from something else he helped me with. Gator and the Houndoom both lean closer, squinting at your snout and chest, searching for any signs of the legendary markings you described. The Houndoom is the first to see them, though just probably, I, yeah, I think I see something. Gator, his vision just as sharp, nods as he too sees the soul markings. Well, I'll be danged, he rumbles softly. It's there all right. I'd say it's too dang coincidental otherwise. Oh, you mother fricker, you better hope I didn't. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says both of the symbol and the golden claws came from him. He loved me so much, just like my other Pokemon. Just like my other Pokemon, he still does. This is what I'm trying to say to both of you. I know at one point I was a human, but I promise both of you I'm on your side. Humans were just as horrible to me as they were to you. Gator and the Houndoom share a look before focusing on you again, their initial suspicion lessening with every word you speak. You really are different from other humans, Gator concedes, tension in his voice softening. Most would sooner throw a rock at us than plead their case. Houndoom lets out a derisive snort. That's putting it lightly. Most are pretty dang trigger happy with those Pokeballs, too. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, yeah, I know. When I met that family of Toadows, crocodiles, and for alligators, there was this one Toadao named Chomps. He was the youngest pawn of that family, and people would not stop trying to capture him. I warned the family every time somebody was about to try and capture him, and because of that, the whole family cared about me, too, including Chomps despite how young he was. Gary let out a low, almost approving chuckle. Little Chomps, huh? Smart kid. Most point his age would be too reckless to avoid. He said balls, but I think he meant Pokeballs. I won't say Pokeballs, but with Pokeballs. Houndoom smirked, surfing slightly, her gaze less hostile now as she studied you. You really do have a knack for this kind of thing, protecting the little ones from humans who don't deserve them. I paused before Gary answered. Guess that makes you one of the good ones, for what it's worth in this world. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said I had a lot of peeps that trusted me. Not even just Pokemon. I had real mythical dragons that cared about me, and even a dinosaur. Gary's eyes widened slightly, an expression of genuine surprise flickering across his face. Even the Houndoom tenses, her ember-like gaze sharpened as she leans in closer. Mythical dragons? There are mythical dragons? Dino dragons? She scoffed, but there was a hint of disbelief in her now. You're either lying through your tiny teeth, or you've got one heck of a story. Gary studies you intently before grunting. Prove it. Oh, great. How am I going to prove that? I don't know where they even are. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, I don't know where the dragon would be. He looted a volcano, and apparently wasn't either one of the guardians of the world for the Lugia god. His name was Razor Claw, and he had a son that I healed when he was injured. He's been nice to me ever since. As for a dinosaur, I'd really love to show you him, but unfortunately, the dinosaur died, and I don't know completely why. Remember, guys, in this universe, kind of similar to the last one with Tyranitar. For some reason, unfortunately, Reggie ended up dead, and I still don't know completely why. Well, the last one we found out Tyranitar was the reason why. This one, I don't know. No one might look watch one of them say like one of them two did it. Gator and the Houndoom listened intently. The curiosity peaked despite their initial skepticism. The mention of a dragon guardian and a dinosaur ally clearly left them intrigued. Razor Claw, eh? Gator rumbled thoughtfully. And the dino? What happened to him? Houndoom gives an impatient snort. I was watching it early. Well, you can't very well prove its existence if he's dead. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says, I don't know what happened. The dinosaur was a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but he was really nice and could speak English. I raised him ever since he was a baby, and he even called me his dad. Unfortunately, a bit after all of this with Mewtwo and Arceus started, when I looked outside my house, I just saw him laying sideways with blood gushing out of him. Gator's expression darkens, a low growl rumbling in his chest as the weight of your words settles over him. Houndoom tenses, her ember-like eyes flashing with sudden intensity. Humans, she snarls, her voice laced with venom. They always ruin things they don't even deserve to touch. Gator exhaled sharply through his nostrils before speaking again, this time more measured. So, that T-Rex was yours? Raised you? Closing head backwards. Alright, guys. I just told him, yes, he was mine. I raised him with so much love, and he really cared about me. But everything lately has gone horrible for me. Not only did I find him laying sideways pretty much dead, but after all of this started with Mewtwo and Arceus, my pawn friends completely disappeared too. They never tried to hurt me, but I don't know where they went, and I haven't seen them for a while. I just hope they're okay. Gator and the Houndoom fall silent, their expression shifting from hostility to something closer to reluctant sympathy. Gator lets out a slow breath, almost like a sigh. Your Pokemon vanished after all that? Houndoom narrows her eyes slightly, but doesn't scoff this time. Instead, she watches you carefully. Either they left you on purpose, she muses, or something took them. A bit of silence before Gator speaks in. You got any idea where they might be? Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said no, but if they really wanted to hurt me, they would have done it when they had the perfect opportunity. But if they left me alone and just disappeared, tells me that they at least cared about me still in some way. But I don't really know where they went. Maybe the Lugia God knows. They could have lost themselves slightly mentally after what Mewtwo and Arceus did, but still remembered me being nice to them, so they left me alone. They could have went after other humans that were mean to Pokemon. Heck, bro, I know they could be out there right now trying to keep me safe by telling other Pokemon to not hurt me. Forever, you and Houndoom were the first one to even try breaking in here. Gator and the Houndoom exchanged a glance, something unspoken passing between them. Gator's paws were loosened slightly, such a hostility fading as he processes your words. They left you alone? Didn't attack? He rumbles, his tone more curious than accusatory now. The Houndoom lets out a low hum before it. Either they're playing the long game, or they really do give a dang about you. Apollo, or maybe Mewtwo and Arceus mess with their heads too much for them to even think straight anymore. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, I hope not. Before closing my eyes real quick and try talking to the Lugia god. I said, Lugia, please, if you can hear me, I really want to know. Do you know where all my Pokemon are and what they're doing? They're okay, aren't they? For a moment, nothing happens. The air in the room feels heavy with tension as Gator and the Houndoom watch you expectantly. Then suddenly the temperature drops. A faint golden glow begins to emanate from your tiny claws, pulsing lightly like a heartbeat. A deep voice echoes in your mind. Little King, they are safe. The words resonate with divine weight before fading just as quickly as they came. Gator and the Houndoom stiffen visibly at this display of power, eyes wide for once instead of skeptical or mocking. Fragger doesn't seem to be mocking. Fragger seems to be the one that's like, wow. Weirdly enough, Fragger seems to be the more reasonable one of the two. Houndoom's the one that's like, you have any proof of this bullcrap, or are you just lying through your teeth, you little stupid idiot? Fragger's the one that's like, you know, all the evidence points that you're being truthful and not lying to me. Like, Fragger's being more, again, the giant alligator is the one being the reasonable one. The giant 7-foot tall alligator that could rip people in half if somebody hissed him off. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I just smile after hearing this and say, good. Thank you so much. What are they doing right now? They at least remember me, right? And maybe even trying to help me? The golden glow flickers again. This time a brief vision flashes in your mind. A shadowy but familiar silhouette of your Lugia soaring high above the tree line. Below him you catch glimpses of other shapes. Your Toadal family moving through dense foliage. Fragger's towering from a garden, something unseen. They remember you. The voice rumbles in your skull. And they fight for what remains. Then silence returns as the light fades from your claws. Gator and Houndoom are staring at you like they've just seen an actual god walk by. Oh my gosh. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I asked him the same question I asked him in the last session I did with this. I asked him, like, how he actually feels about it. I said, I continue to smile at what I was hearing, and to say, I'm glad. Thank you so much, Lugia God. I'm really glad you still care about me as well. I really appreciate that. I want to ask one more thing. What do you think about what Mewtwo and Arceus did? Are you angry because of them doing all of this to begin with, or do you think it's well deserved, not only for how people treated their Pokemon, but also how they treated me? As soon as you ask this, the temperature drops even further. Usually that means it's not a good response. Gator and the Houndoom visibly shiver, but hold their ground, watching you intently as the golden light envelops your claws again. Justice! The voice rumbles from the shadows. Divine fury vibrating as a rebalancing of the scales of fate. Humans reshaped what they sowed. Reaped what they sowed. Reshaped. The light suddenly vanishes. The air returning to normal as a silence heavy with power fills the air. Gator and the Houndoom can only stare at you in speechless awe. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I just opened my eyes and looked back at Gator and Houndoom and said, I'm glad to know that my pointer's safe. See? Like I was telling you a while ago, I may have been a human at one point, but I'm on your side. In fact, I don't care if you can come in here, both of you. Just please don't hurt me at all. That's all I ask. Gator and the Houndoom share another glance, their gazes unreadable. Finally, Gator shifts his position, his eyes never leaving your small form as he slowly lowers himself to the ground. The Houndoom follows suit, sitting back on her haunches. She doesn't look away either, but the mocking edge is gone. She doesn't look away either, but the mocking edge is gone from her gaze, as she studies you almost curiously now. For a moment, nobody speaks. Then Gator grunts softly, "All right, we believe you, Tiny King." Hey, there we go. Give me a moment, guys. Alright. I saw that camera. Alright. Let's hope it didn't mess up the audio. It says, "Thank you. Even if I had the option to, I would never hurt you. Especially you, for alligator. Your species and pre-evolutions are my favorite Pokemon of all time. I think that's one of the reasons that Totodile I had loved me so much, and one of the reasons him especially is out there right now trying to keep other Pokemon from hurting me." Sound, something between a chuckle and an amused grumble. "Of course, alligator fan." Houndoom's lips twitch, flight nears a smirk. "Toto's one thing, but your favorite's the fully evolved big lizard, huh?" "Of course it is." I just told him, "That's one over the other. I love all three of them the same. Even Crocodile. That's the one everybody else calls ugly. I think he's adorable." Gear can't contain the low rumbling of his laugh now, while the Houndoom actually does smirk slightly at this. You've you've got unusual taste for sure. Not a lot of people like Crocodile." Her eyes flash with a sly gleam as she adds, "Oh, it's her. I thought most people considered Totodile the cutest." Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said all three of them have their own cute charm. Even for Alligator. Every time I see him smile, it makes me really happy. It's just for us for some reason. I still think he was really adorable in his own way. Because he still looks like a way bigger version of Totodile. It messed up something. Gear told again, shaking his head. Houndoom's smirk softens. Her expression almost fond now. Almost. "You really do have a soft spot for them, don't you?" That's to call a tall gator with jaws that could rip you apart cute. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says, "Yeah, every one of them I've had or even met has usually been a big sweetheart. There's been a few times I've met the most aggressive and angry for alligators, but usually when they're like that, it's because something bad happened to them. Some of the most aggressive alligators I've met care about me as well." Gator actually laughs out loud, a deep sound that shakes his whole body. The Houndoom smirk blossoms into a proper grin this time. "You've met some seriously unique for alligator, little guy. Most of them are not sweet or gentle, especially the males." She shoots a shot at Gator, who just rumbles softly with the music. "And you say some of the mean ones still care about you?" Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, "Yeah, some of the most aggressive Pokemon I've met have become protectors towards me when I'm around. They go from hating me and wanting to hurt me to falling in love with me and trying to keep me safe like I was their son or daughter." Both Gator and the Houndoom look genuinely surprised for a moment before the former shakes his head with another low laugh. That's that's pretty dang wild." He rumbles. "I don't think I've ever met anyone who can get an aggressive fragger to warm up to him that much." Houndoom shouts, "You must be some kind of miracle worker. You must be some kind of miracle worker, little guy. How'd you do it?" Do you see why I get pissed off? Alright, guys. I just told him it's not always easy. Most of the point I have met when they're angry or aggressive like that have a reason for being that way. And unfortunately, most of them that I have met are like that because their families got killed by humans. I met a Feralier that used to be a sweet toad owl until humans kept being mean to him and eventually killed his parents. He told me that he was so angry from that event that he literally went from a toad owl and immediately evolved into a Feraligator. His personality basically got split into two. He became an angry, vengeful Pokemon that wanted to hurt and even, I think, kill humans. He also had this little Totodile plush with him that could walk, talk, and do everything else. That represented his sweet side that he used to have. That's just one example of an aggressive Pokemon I've met. Both Gator and the Houndoom listen intently as you explain their gazes fixate on you in a mix of surprise and grudging admiration. Gator's tail taps the ground, the sound like a slow drum beat in the stillness of the room. Dang, you got a knack for meeting Pokemon with tragic stories, he murmurs softly. The Houndoom adds, her tone almost grudgingly impressed. And you managed to get them to come around anyway? You some kind of shrink or something? Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, well, for him in particular, I just told him I was never like that, and I actually told him about my experiences like I did with both of you, with stuff about how humans turned me into a tiny dinosaur and how they always tried to hurt me, too. Believe it or not, I also helped him by bringing his parents back to life. If Gator and the Houndoom were surprised earlier, that's absolutely nothing compared to how they look now. You what? Brought his parents back? Gator rumbled, his tone a mix of shocked disbelief and grudging respect. Houndoom echoes him, her voice a low, stunned hiss. You brought the dead back to life? There's a bit of silence as they both absorb this information, 1,000 unspoken questions hanging in the air. And give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, yes, that's something else the little God gave me. I have a ton of divine power that I can use in any way I want. I can do nearly anything with it, even bringing creatures that have passed away back to life. Remember, guys, in my universe, yes, that's physically possible. Silence stretches out like a taut rope, both Gator and the Houndoom eyeing you in a new, almost Alright, guys, here's what it says. I can, of all the divine power I have, bring creatures back to life is the only one I can use to actually use up my own energy. If I have to do too many, especially in a short period of time, it actually makes me exhausted, and if too much, can actually cause me to pass out. Gator and the Houndoom exchange a glance, this time something almost protective flickering in their expressions. Wait, Gator says, stop hurting. You mean to tell me you've been wasting your own energy on resurrecting Pokemon just so they don't stay mad? The Houndoom's voice is uncharacteristically quiet when she adds, that's reckless, even for someone with divine powers. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I tell them, I don't do it right after I meet them. I do it willingly after they're nice to me, like a thank you present. When I did it for that angry Feraligator, I did it because he was nice to me the day before. He even let me stay in the forest and sleep there. The only bad thing he did to me the entire time was turn me into a tiny dragon. Gator and the Hound both stiffen at this revelation, their expressions shifting to something between disbelief and outright concern. Oh my gosh, dude! Turned you into a tiny dragon, Gator repeats slowly as if trying to process the sheer absurdity of that statement. The Houndoom went a sharp huff, her tail lashing once before she fixes you with an intense stare. That's not possible! Unless... Her eyes narrow slightly. Unless he had divine powers too. Alright, here's